Well, Namibia, we are coming to you live from Gobabis, the capital of the Omaheke region, where the governor, Pijoo Nganate, will be delivering the State of the Region address. Currently, as you can see, the proceedings have started here. We have the Omitofo group, that's a martial arts group that's currently keeping all the delegates entertained as they're about to enter the hall here at Ben van der Walt School, where the governor will be giving his address. In such a dynamic region, which obviously, according to the current census or the 2023 census, hosts about 102,000, 103,000 residents, 7 constituencies. They do slightly have more men, and obviously the famous Kalahari Desert resides here in the region. We'll cross over to see a little bit of the performances here that is happening right behind. As you can see, the delegates are ready. There's an atmosphere of enthusiasm and anticipation of what's going to be happening, what the governor is going to be saying, anticipating how the regional subnational governance structures are aligned with the national mandate that's been given out. So there's a lot that the people and the residents here are anticipating. This morning in our GMA Prelude, we were discussing the various opportunities and the shared responsibility that the private sector also shares with civil society and the government. So Namibia, this is us coming to you live for a special broadcast. We're obviously live and covering this event on all of our NBC platforms as well. We'll be crossing over and we'll have an interview for you where we get to look at, from a young person's perspective, a social economic development activist in the region. Mr. Nanus will be joining us to give that analysis. There you see a round of applause for the Omitofo Martial Arts Group. What brilliant performance here. You can see the young people are engaged in positive activities in the region. A lot of the times people are saying there's lack of engagement of young people in terms of keeping them constructively engaged, and as you can see, the Omitofo Martial Arts Group there, the audience giving them a round of applause there for their splendid performance. Also, another performance that we're expecting this morning will be coming from the Sun Cultural Group, and that's obviously to show the cultural aspects of the region. Many a times in Namibia, we do not focus on the cultural aspects, but this morning we're speaking about the development at a regional level, and I would like to welcome the guests. Mr. Nanus, please, thank you for joining us, making time out for the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
How excited are you? What are you anticipating this morning? You just saw the young people perform. How are you feeling? How's the region in general feeling this morning?
It's a new morning. It's definitely a brand new morning. The energy started on a very high note with all the martial arts activities, and so many people showed up to support the governor. It's so much positive energy, and I can feel it. I anticipate only good things from now on going forward.
You know, at a regional level, when you speak about just the ethnic dimension, the diversity that exists, this region is particularly more diverse than so many other regions in the country when you're looking at the various ethnicities. So speak to us about the power of diversity and the potential of that within this region.
The power of diversity within this region, because there are so many ethnic groups within this region, is that you get to see different perspectives and different perceptions all around you, all at the same time, simultaneously. It's powerful in a sense that it gives you, or it creates a platform for things to be done differently all the time. Like there's always a different way, or always a new way of thinking. With that being said, and I love that about our region so much, because we embrace the different ethnic cultures, so much so that it's still alive and active, and everybody is still, very invested in the,
That's very great. But talk to us about you as a young person of the region. Why are you here? Why is this SORA so important to you?
This SORA is important to me because with the governor being re-elected, it creates potential for stronger youth empowerment in the region. It creates potential for stronger advocacy for social economic issues like malnutrition and crime prevention and youth unemployment. There's so much that can be done if you collaborate with the office of the governor within this region. And we've seen it in the past with initiatives that I've worked on as well, and initiatives that other youth members also have engaged on with the Office of the Governor. So for me, it's important to give kind of like to create space or to create room for the young people to see that, you know, there's hope. There is a way for you to collaborate with the Office of the Governor so that you can be heard and be seen.
Well, as you can see, the people have started to slowly move into the hall here at the Ben van der Walt School in Gobabis. For those of you who are just joining us, this is the State of the Region address coming to you live from the capital of the region, that is Gobabis. You're talking about initiatives as a young person. I'm busy interviewing Ms. Nanus, who is you described yourself as a social development activist. What does that mean in this regional context?
In this regional context, because Omaheke region is it's still quite, you know, underdeveloped in a sense. It's a dwarf compared to other regions within the country. For me, it's important to have a lot of socio-economic activists here, because there's so much growth, there's so much potential for growth within this region, not just in Gobabis, the region as a whole. There's still so much to be done, and there's still so much to be achieved, and that's why it's important for me to kind of be loud about it and to be speaking about it and to be taking up initiatives in that direction, because there's so much work that still needs to be done here.
What are some of those gaps that you're identifying, and what are some of the initiatives that you have come up to address those gaps?
We've started with the malnutrition task force because that has been a very serious issue here in the region. Crime prevention, the crime rate, also because of the high unemployment rate. So we always strive to empower the youth, because the youth, and that is what I'm expecting from the governor's speech. I feel like that should be one of his pillars where his speech is centered upon, because it's the root of the young people. They are the pillars of the community. If you tackle any youth focused or youth centric issue, you are tackling a problem as a whole. So if the youth is empowered, the nation is empowered, the region is empowered. So we are doing, we have the O space in town. It's responsible for training the youth on different skills. We always have speakers coming from Windhoek that are coming to empower the youth, but it's very difficult to grasp the attention of the young people.
But it's a very interesting point, you know, when you're talking about the availability of infrastructure, people have access to programs, and yet they don't get utilized. Is there an issue around access to information? Are we maybe not going to where the youth are? Or what's the challenge in ensuring that these spaces become effective, become meaningful, and actually contribute towards changing the livelihoods of young people in the region?
I feel like, yes, the information does not reach the necessary people or the right people, the people that it needs to be reaching. It's when we're implementing or when we are organizing an initiative, I feel like for most of our stakeholders or the organizers of events, it's difficult to market effectively. I feel like we take for granted the power of marketing, of proper marketing, because young people are always on social media. Young people, you know, the methods that we are employing should be befitting to the people that we are trying to attract. And that's where the shortages are in this regard. I think that's, yeah.
So I think the speech is about to start. I can hear some of the mics going on there. But in conclusion, young people, you know, if you're walking in the streets of Gobabis, don't possibly even know that a SORA happens. What's your message to them? Why should they be aware of what's happening in their community and some of the initiatives that have been taking place? Why should they participate in not just the discussions or be here, but how do we encourage that civic responsibility?
My message to the young people would be that awareness and involvement is key, because nobody is going to know what challenges you face if you don't voice them. And if you're given a platform to voice them, you must use it. You must use it effectively, because people listen. People really listen. Changes come once information is dispersed, once information is out there and people are aware that these are the problems and these are the challenges that are being faced. So that is why it's very important, especially for the young people. The future is ours. We need to make sure that the future looks bright for everybody, not just for some of us.
So, to the governor and to the leaders in this region, what's your message to them?
My message is, please include us in the planning. Please include us in the events. Let us know how we can contribute to making the Omaheke region great, to making the Omaheke region successful. Please, when you're planning, consider the repercussions, consider the advantages of the youth. I'm just here to speak on behalf of the youth, because I feel like we are very underrepresented in the region, and we need more voices, more younger voices in the government. We need more younger voices in the decision-making panels. So please see us, acknowledge us.
But as young people, when you do get the opportunity to fill those positions, do you then serve the interest of the young? Or, sometimes we have to look at ourselves critically and say, or do we also become self-serving? How do young people ensure that once they do get these positions, they actually enable or create an environment where people are truly empowered?
It's a matter of perspective, I think. But as a young person, you need to be intentional. Because if you don't know what you're doing something for, then there is no point in doing it at all. If a young person is deployed or employed into an environment that is youth-centric and that focuses on development issues, they should have heart and be intentional with it. That's the only way they're not going to divert away from serving the entire whole, because we are micro-earths at the end of the day, little earths that serve a bigger earth. And if we can all have that perspective in our day-to-day thinking and initiatives, it can eventually serve the whole, and things can happen, great things can happen.
In terms of the priority areas, we've seen obviously through the State of the Nation address, the President has highlighted key areas. What speaks to your region? What areas? Is it agriculture? Is it the creative industries? Is it, housing and sanitation and land? What are the kind of, at a regional level, issues that resonate with the residents of Omaheke region?
Omaheke region is agricultural. It's an agricultural region. Khobabas is surrounded by so many farms. So much farming activities take place here. So I feel like that, number one. Secondly, yes, the housing and the sanitation. The young people really struggle, It's my heart's like, it's my wish for them to revisit the housing policies so that young people can afford housing, for affordable housing. Because if you don't have land on which you can utilize and make a living, then technically, even if you earn a monthly salary, you're still broke. That's just what I think. And yeah, I feel like those two are centric for me on this.
Any closing remarks before we cross over to the SORA?
I'm just grateful for this opportunity, for the platform to voice my opinion. I hope that the governor exceeds our expectations, just not with the SORA, but also with his term. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting and very insightful conversation. Well, we are ready for the live broadcast here from Khobabas, the capital of Omaheke region, for the State of the Region address by the Governor, Pijoo Nganate. Let's cross over for this.
Anthems. And I want the audience to lead the anthems. Please, let's start. National anthem.
Freedom from
wafrito wikifa love and loyalty together in unity, contrasting beautiful Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, all that the banner of liberty, Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee. Obey together the victories of our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the dream of God. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Honorable Governor, Honorable Regional Councillors, and the local authority councillors that are present here, allow me, in the best interest of time, to say all protocol observed. I want to call upon Bishop Katuo to come to the fore and to give us a prayer. In the meantime, I also want to recognize the presence and the arrival of my sister, Christine Huepes, the senior, you don't want to wait, the senior special advisor to the president. Omaheke, now you can clap. Thank you.
Good morning. I want to thank God for the opportunity that is being granted to me to open this event with the word of prayer, because I believe that all is being done because of the hands of God. Now I want to read from the book of Joshua, chapter number 1, and I'm going to read verse 2, and then I'll go down to verse 7, verse 5, 6, 7, 9. The Bible says, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, cross over the Jordan, you and all these people, into the land which I'm given to them, to the son of Israel. I have given you every place on which the sole of your feet tread, just as I promised to Moses from the wilderness. Let's leave it. Let me go to 5. Now, no man will be able to stand before you as long as you live. Just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not fail you or abandon you. Be strong and confident and courageous, for you will give these people inheritance, the land which I swore to their father to give to them. Only be strong. I'm repeating, be strong and very courageous. Be carefully to do everything according to the law which Moses, my servant, commanded you to do, and don't turn from them to the right or to the left, so that my people, or so that you might prosper and be successfully wherever you go. Verse number 9. That's I'm going to finish. Have I not commanded you today on the days of the 14? Be strong and courageous. My brother, do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you forever. God bless you. Now, I read these scriptures for the reasons that the Bible God was talking to Joshua, because Moses, his service was done. He's about to go, and now it's another time of another moment of new leadership to rise up. Yes, we know that you have been coming back again into power, our honorable governors, but I want to say this today, that governor who was in the Omaheke region is already dead. You are no more alive. You have to resurrect it as a new governors of this region with a new attitude, with a new vision, with a new plan for your people. You can't move with the same plan like Moses. Moses was to take the people out of bondage, but Joshua was to cross the people to the land of promise. I think what the people need, or the nation of the Omaheke region, we want to go to the land of promise. So I want you to take us to the land of promise, and that's what the Lord said. In this, be courageous, be strong, don't be afraid, and the Lord will be with you. Can we just pray? Father, we thank you for the wonderful time like this. Thank you for the moment like this. Thank you for giving us a service and servants to serve this region. This great Omaheke region needs you more than before. We pray for a new governor that we have, my God, for the blessing of God, and new closes that you will close him with your glory and strength and wisdom and knowledge, that he can take us to the land of the promise. Bless us and bless the whole program. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Bishop. I want us really to run with the program, and once again, whilst I'm observing the protocol, I want to do the welcoming and introductory remarks that I ought to do. It is with a profound sense of honor, duty, and humility that I stand before you this morning to welcome you all to the 2025 State of the Region Address. As the chairperson of the Omaheke Regional Council, I'm both privileged and proud to open this important session, which remains one of the most significant events in our regional governance calendar. This occasion brings us together as leaders, as stakeholders, and public servants, united by a shared commitment to the progress and prosperity of the Omaheke region. Your presence here today, whether as councillors, officials, community leaders, or invited guests, is not only valued, but deeply appreciated. It reaffirms the collective responsibility we carry to foster inclusive governance, deepen democratic practices, and ensure that the wheels of development continue to turn with precision, urgency, and relevance to the people we serve. Allow me at this point to pause and express both personally and officially my heartfelt congratulations to the Honorable Governor of the Omaheke region on his recent reappointment. On behalf of the entire Regional Council and the people of Omaheke, we welcome your renewed mandate with great optimism. I had the honor of extending my personal congratulatory message to you on 1st July 2025, in which I simply but sincerely said, and I want to quote it, "Congratulations, Comrade Governor. Let's continue to serve the region. Aluta continua. God bless." I want to once again repeat the same sentiments. Congratulations, Comrade Governor. Let's continue to serve the region. Aluta continua. God bless. Honorable members, today's gathering is firmly rooted in our constitutional framework, specifically in the provision of Article 110A, sub-article 5 and 6 of the Namibian Constitution. These provisions place a clear obligation upon the regional governor to appear before the regional council at least once annually to present the State of the Region address. This platform serves to inform the council and the wider public on the overall state of affairs in the region, while also reporting on the central government's programs and interventions undertaken within the region over the past 12 months. However, beyond fulfilling a constitutional requirement, this session serves as a powerful instrument of governance and political accountability. It provides the necessary space for us to pause, assess, and reflect on our achievements, on the challenges that persist, and on the emerging needs that demands urgent attention. More importantly, it allows for structured dialogue between the regional governor and the elected members of the council, offering a crucial opportunity for robust yet constructive engagement that helps shape policy directions and operational focuses going forward. The 2025 State of the Region Address is held under the focus and forward-looking theme, driving inclusive development through pragmatic leadership and people-centered action. This theme speaks volumes. It's not just a headline or a ceremonial tagline. It is a declaration of intent and a call to action. It challenges us as public representatives, technocrats, and service providers to embrace leadership that is grounded in realism, guided by results, and responsive to the aspirations of our people. Pragmatic leadership, as referenced in the theme, is leadership that listens, acts decisively, and delivers effectively. It acknowledges the constraints we face, whether they be fiscal limitations, institutional bottlenecks, or resource scarcities, but chooses not to be paralyzed by them. Instead, it calls for innovation, boldness, and focus on what is doable now. It demands prioritization, efficiency, and above all, discipline in execution. Equally, people-centered action remind us that development must never be detached from the human experience. It is not about ticking the boxes or fulfilling compliance indicators. It is about the lived realities of the people in our settlements, towns, villages, and farms. It is about elderly pensioner in Ochinene, the struggling single mother in Dreamepses, the aspiring youth in Epikiro, and emerging farmers in Aminus. When we speak of development, we must always ask, how does it improve the lives of our people? How does it empower them to live with dignity, security, and opportunity? Honorable members, this is the true spirit behind the State of the Region Address. It is not merely a presentation of the facts and figures. It is a moment for leaders to account, for citizens to listen and question, and for all of us to recommit ourselves to the values of transparency, service, and shared growth. As we gather here today, we must do so with seriousness this moment demands. I wish to emphasize that today's address is also a crucial opportunity for this council, our region's highest democratic body, to exercise its oversight role to interrogate progress with sincerity. Let us therefore approach the moment not as observers, but as active participants in the transformation of Omaheke. I call upon all honorable members to engage meaningfully and with a spirit of cooperation. Let us ask questions necessary, offer constructive criticism, and extend a hand of collaboration where it is needed. The people of Omaheke are not interested in division. They are interested in development. They expect unity of purpose from us, their leaders. They expect to see delivery not just on paper, but in their communities and households. The potential of our region is vast. We are blessed with natural resources and resilience, but potential must be matched with political will. As we proceed with today's session, let us be guided by understanding that this is not just a routine gathering. It is a political, developmental, and civic moment. In conclusion, honorable members, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of the entire Omaheke Regional Council to extend a warm welcome to all present and to officially declare the 2025 State of the Region Address open. Let us listen attentively to the Governor's address. Let us engage constructively as a council, and let us leave this hall with renewed energy and purpose to serve the people of Omaheke with excellence and integrity. Together, let's truly drive inclusive development through pragmatic leadership and people-centered action, and I thank you. It is now my singular honor to call upon Honorable Governor to come and address the residents of Omaheke. Comrade Governor.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. This morning when I was watching the Amitofo School performing there, I was reminded by the fact that these are marginalized and vulnerable children who are schooling at that school and who could perform in such a way. And if every child of Omaheke is given that opportunity, and every child of this country is given that opportunity, everything is possible and doable. It made me so emotional. And having said that, Honorable Chairperson of Council and Management, Honorable Ignatius Garisep, Honorable Christine Webers, Special Presidential Advisor, Honorable Members of Parliament in attendance, Honorable Members of the Management Committee, Worship Mayor Mel Pashodongoro, Honorable Regional and Local Authority Councillors, Honorable Chairpersons of Village Councils, former governors present here, and I also have to tender the apology of our Director General of National Planning. He wanted to be here but was assigned another responsibility. Honorable Ruth Kaukwa Tambura, our SWAPO Party Regional Coordinator in attendance, regional coordinators of our official opposition party and other political parties and formations, distinct Mr. Peka Semba, our Chief Regional Officer of the Omaheke Regional Council, esteemed heads of services, line ministries, chief executive officers, distinguished traditional authorities, religious community leaders, our civil servants, captains of industry. My wife cannot be here due to an operation that she underwent, but her mother is here. And it's my pleasure also to welcome my mother-in-law in attendance. It's the first time that she's attending the State of the Region address in person. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and to every ear that is tuned in this morning from far and near, let me express my sincere and humble appreciation to the God of our forefathers and the God of our foremothers, the God to whom only glory is due, for his mercy and for his selection and appointment of leaders at different intervals of our time. Allow me to register my sincere appreciation to our President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, for having given me a second opportunity to reflect once again on my mandate to correct where we have failed over the past 5 years, and for the trust under my leadership and yours collectively to move this region to the next level of development and shared prosperity. We are under obligation and command to ensure that all people living within the boundaries of this region, they are respected, they are taken care of, and that their needs are met. That's the order of the President to all governors, including me. Our President's leadership is forward-looking and it's centered on socio-economic developmental model grounded on 5 key principles: pragmatism, integrity, accountability, meritocracy, inclusivity. Those are the principles that our President's leadership is founded in. Under such leadership principles, as a direct representative in the region of Omaheke, I am duty-bound to embrace these principles without compromise. I believe these principles must also be scaled down to our regional, local, traditional authorities, religious, business, NGO, governmental heads, and workers in general. We all have to embrace those principles. Ultimately, the whole of Omaheke residents must hit the ground running. We must serve the people of Omaheke beyond the call of duty and must shake ourselves out of our comfort zones and self-declared kingdoms. Now is the time to outwardly embrace servant-rooted leadership and have soft hearts, skillful hands, and tough minds. We must be in a position to cry when we see people suffering. Hence the theme, driving inclusive development through pragmatic leadership and people-centered action. With this in mind, we are therefore reminded that as regional governor, I am bound by the Constitution in Article 110B, C, E, and F to deliver a State of the Region Address, SORA, after the President of the Republic of Namibia delivered her State of the Region Address, her State of the Nation Address. The State of the Region Address informs the state of the affairs of this region. It reports on the activities of the central government for the previous financial year, and it reports on the implementation status of national developmental programs and provides the roadmap for the year ahead, and that is why we are all gathered here. Honorable Chairperson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will fail the people of Omaheke and this country at large if I omit to mention that my reappointment is not mine alone, but all of us as a region. I am because you are. And on that note, I'm directing that we be united, we rally behind your governor, your regional and local authorities, traditional leaders, and all of us be one in mind and one in heart. And that is the recipe for us to move this region to its full potential. Forward ever, backward never. A luta continua. Our departed leaders, such as Osea Kutako, Samuel Maharero, Hendrik Vetboy, and of recent history, Andimba Triwe Atribo, Mohanedi Tlapanelo, Kumbe Shidera, Hangane Kashipuka, Moses Garweb, to mention a few, sacrificed their lives in order for us to carry on with the struggle where they have left off. I have no doubt that President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah is of the resolve to move this country to shared prosperity, and we must join her and the 8th administration in doing so. Fellow Namibians, distinguished invited guests, our State of the Region Address has been themed as driving inclusive development through pragmatic leadership and people-centered action. Based on our theme for this reporting year, the call is upon all of us as regional leaders to change our leadership principles, align them to the vision of our President, and embrace the direction set by our President. That this time around, nepotism, procrastination, laziness, wastage of government resources, and inefficiency must be things of the past. If you feel like clapping hands, we're not in a church, you can also do so. If you feel like saying amen, you can also do so and affirm. As governor, I'm tasked with, among others, securing the execution of the following: overseeing the implementation of development programs, aimed at accelerating access to land for residential and industrial urban. It is unacceptable that people are growing old without even being provided a shelter over their head. The lack of development is stuck because our own bureaucracy. We must come out of our comfort zones and without delay provide the Minister of Urban and Rural Development with a list of serviced and unserviced urban and within our localities. It is expected of me to drive a performance culture within the region and to submit quarterly reports. So is it expected of all of us to submit the same reports to the governor. I hope that clarion call is clear to all of us. The governor has to submit a quarterly report, and for the governor to do so, all of us have to submit to the governor. And that is without fail. The sourcing of local goods, and this is very important, and services will be the norm now and must lead to job creation and empowerment for youth and women. Our president wants rural developments, rural areas to develop, and she is of the opinion that if the local people in that area can source the resources or the goods and services that are needed, it must be procured there. So our procurement model must change. We cannot come and buy bread in Khobabes while bread is being produced or made in Oshinene, for example. That's to keep rural migration to urban areas. As governor, I am directed to listen without compromise to the voices of our communities and civil society, particularly the grassroots organizations. And in order to realize this, the Office of the Governor will put up suggestion boxes at strategic locations within the region, such as traditional authority offices, local authority offices, and you are expected to make your suggestions there, not only problems, but also solutions as to how we can move this region to the next level. Yes? That is to strengthen service delivery gaps, where we are doing that, and just go a little bit faster. And I'm urging all leadership, particularly our traditional, local, and regional leadership, to understand that the voices of our people need to be heard. Any society is judged by how they deal with the most vulnerable members of society, and the issues of malnutrition, lack of proper old-age homes for our elderly citizens, and the children living and working on the streets can be addressed. The voices of the boy child will enjoy priority within the office of the governor, as well as the empowerment of women and youth. We will in due course announce ways on how to rehabilitate and reintegrate children living and working on the streets, but also to assess the parents of these children. And my call, therefore, for the Ministry of Health is to start working in close collaboration with the Directorate of Gender and to come up with plans. In the meantime, the wife of the governor is engaging farmers and private sector in this regard. Let us hold hands, let us stand together. Let's stop playing the man and play the ball being issues such as poverty, ignorance, and disease, among others. I'm pleased to announce that a school is planned for Omaheke that will embrace a hands-on curriculum, and I'm happy to welcome my good friends from Amitofo who are planning to build this school at the old hotel in Omitara. That's where the school will be built that will accommodate similar children that we've seen here. And that school is only for orphans and vulnerable children, not for the children of the Nganates and the Melpa Shodongoros. I'm pleading with law enforcement that we restore law and order in our neighborhoods by compelling shebins and liquor outlets to adhere to operation hours, and that the same beautiful peace and tranquility that we're enjoying in Nosopville and Khobabes, that peace and tranquility also be enjoyed in Epako. The fact that Epako currently is one loud place full of noise from shebins and churches must be reversed. People also there need rest. Children need to study and go to school. Shebeens that are operating from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock the next morning, these things must be kept. There are laws that regulate shebeens. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Councillors, fellow residents of Omaheke, this year's State of the Region address will be based on the 7 priority areas as contained in the SWAPO Party Manifesto and translated into our NDP 6 plan. And these areas are agriculture, sport, youth empowerment, quality education and training, creative industries, quality health and social welfare, land, housing and sanitation. Among these priority areas, we have the following 8 economic pillars, which is mining, energy, oil and gas, tourism, agriculture, water, fisheries, transport, and logistics. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, let me then report on the State of the Region address as follows, starting with our priority number 1 area, which is agriculture. The Omaheke region is known as the cattle country. However, this report shows that our collective efforts in agriculture diversification. The Omaheke Regional Council has provided drought relief package of 270,900 bags of maize meal. And we hope that this scenario, as we move forward, will start changing and that we will stop getting bags of maize meal from government, but produce them ourselves. 750-liter board cooking oil, 270,000 of them, 108,000 units of combined fish, soya beans. The distribution of drought relief packages has reached 22,575 households, covering 67,725 beneficiaries, and that's half of the population of this region, and that is not acceptable. The division of lands acquired 4 farms, 46,512 hectares at the cost of 94,000 Namibian dollars, 94 million Namibian dollars. 22 boreholes were drilled, 17 installed under the emergency drought program. Water infrastructure was developed in 4 communal areas. Over 21 million was spent on that. 9 beneficiaries were resettled at Farms Fiesta and Willemsdres, and I hope Chief Langman is here with us, so that Chief Langman can take ownership of his Skoonheid farm for his son people. So government have removed these people that invaded that farm. 2 additional units are reserved for farmers in corridors of Witfley, Hobabes, and Chaka. And tomorrow I will send a letter to the minister after I've engaged these farmers personally, and we look at the best way forward, because it does not make sense to take 10 people and put them on 1 unit. Then we have the story of fast dry and so on. But with the farmers, we must agree what's the best way to move forward in allocating these 2 units. The challenges experienced are illegal fencing in communal areas affecting equitable land use, low application for occupational land rights, and lack of consultation among traditional authorities leading to disputes. We're also aware of Oshinene and choruses that we still need to bring the 2 chiefs together so that we can see how best we can coexist as people of this region. The way forward is to enforce an MOU among traditional authorities for land allocation, implement quarterly awareness campaigns on the Communal Land Reform Act, and form joint committees to resolve land disputes. The Division of Gender Equality and Child Care Protection upgraded 2 diesel-powered boreholes to solar systems at the cost of 1.3 million. The Bakhalahati Community Garden was established at Corridor 21. 2 new boreholes were installed at the Pukiropo 3 and Erindiro Dombaka at the cost of $350,000 each. The Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination supplied water tanks, tank stands, and water troughs to communities through the Namibia Agricultural Mechanization and Seed Improvement Project. Over 80 boreholes were successfully drilled, cleaned, rehabilitated, and installed. The Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination will continue to address the challenges by implementing projects through the Namibia Water Sector Support Program funded by the African Development Bank and actively monitor and maintain water infrastructure throughout the region. The Ministry of Health and Social Services identified that malnutrition cases point to underlying agricultural and food security concerns. The way forward to tackle malnutrition will be the integrated nutrition-sensitive interventions via agricultural outreach and explore partnerships for food and nutrition projects. The Office of the Governor, in partnership with Global Head Start Kits, compiled a report on the status of malnutrition and possible interventions in Omaheke region. That report will be tabled to the Honorable Minister of Health. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry, and Tourism generated an income of $13,364,000 on Devil's Claw sales. Honorable Chairperson, the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform vaccinated 40,650 cattle against lumpy skin disease in the Aminus communal area. 32,809 were vaccinated in Epukiro and Rietfontein constituencies respectively. Although 625 cattle were sick during the outbreak, only 112 deaths were recorded. 84 livestock auctions held from October to June this year, with a combination number of cattle of 40,924. And we must know that these cattle are all exported out of our country and out of our region. It's a worrisome factor. I saw one president of one country complaining that you are consuming everything of the cow up to the skin. When are you making shoes and so on? And now we are exporting our capital that should actually create employment. We must reverse that one. Sheep 6,011 and goats 5,708, and they generated a combined income of 32 million. A rabies vaccination campaign has commenced, and a total of 420 pets have been vaccinated thus far. Renovations are underway at Khobabe's veterinary clinic. The challenges have been that the lumpy skin disease outbreak is still affecting cattle in the district. Poor state of the Namibia-Botswana international border fence, which requires reconstruction, and debushing is another challenge. The way forward is to continue disease prevention measures and vaccinations, reconstruct and maintain the international border fence to prevent illegal movement. The Okorukambe constituency successfully implemented and completed gardening support projects in Vetfley, Omitara, Duplessis, Squanet, and Epukiro RC. When you hear about these things, you also know this is the year of reckoning. You must know that your councillors are also working. Materials such as water tanks, fencing, and drip irrigation were provided to establish the gardens. Additionally, the constituency successfully established small to medium-scale poultry farming units for eggs and meat production with 10 farmers in Vetfley, Omitara, Duplessis, Farm Squanet, and Epukiro RC receiving materials to construct chicken houses. A pig project was supported in Farm Duplessis with a budget of $49,800. Sheep were distributed to 12 beneficiaries during the 24-25 financial year. The community garden at Squanet was supported to transform unused spaces into productive areas. The Vetfley Village Council installed potable water for the community garden, which continues to struggle financially. The Oshinene Village Council reported achievement in the Oshinene Annual Expo, which include agriculture as one of its 3 core sectors, along with trade and entrepreneurship. The Annual Expo is scheduled for 30 July up to the 3rd of August. Let us all make our way to Oshinene. And luckily, with the new restriction that the President have made, that governors cannot just travel the way they want, let's travel to Oshinene and stop traveling elsewhere and go support that trade fair. I think if the governor, I believe if the governor cannot travel the way they want, the same with regional councils, the same with local authority councils. Even if I have to go to Oshakati to visit my mother-in-law, I need to inform the President. And that's just accountability. We have been given regions, constituencies, towns to run. But every time we are seen on TV, we are seen at wrong places. This trade fair is expected to boost local farming, networking, and exposure, this being a yearly event that helps to boost the economy of Oshinene. The Namibia Correctional Services provided labor for the construction of greenhouses at Farm Nieuwehoop to enhance food security. A hydroponic project is in place, and it gives skills to the inmates and also improve their diet. 4 inmates have been trained in hydroponics, with 18 currently working on the project. The Directorate of Forestry, the region produced 99,000 tons of charcoal and 82,000 tons of firewood during the financial year. There is also an increased interest in farmers in entering both firewood and charcoal production. Additionally, pole production increased from 12,925 in the previous year to 48,832 the current year. Total regional numbers of permits issued by the Directorate of Forestry were 5,833, a slight increase from 3,976 issued the previous year. These include harvesting of 1,040 transport, 1,937 exports, 1,700 and marketing, 1,132, but no import and transit permits were issued. The number of seedlings donated to various institutions such as schools, churches dropped significantly from 625 in the previous financial year to 189 in the current financial year. Additionally, the quantity of seedlings sold from the JRA nursery fell from 1,687 in the previous financial year to 573 during the current financial year. The Namibian police reported that stock theft has been top 5 in reported crimes and remains prevalent in the Omaheke region. I had a discussion with Commissioner Shivede and with our regional magistrate. We are looking at the possibility of establishing a regional stock theft court so that the stock theft can sit from Monday to Friday, and cases can be heard expediently and handled so that we can save our livelihood, which is our farming. The Namibian police will continue the monitoring and handling of stock theft cases as part of crime management efforts. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, priority number 2, sports, is a unifying force that transcends color, religion, and tribe. It does not only foster regional and national pride, but also contributes towards the economy. The Wetfley Village Council planned the upgrade of sports facilities in Wetfley with an estimated cost of $323,000. Oshinene Village Council hosted the Mayoral Cup in 2024 during its 10th anniversary, an event that was to engage youth in sports. The main challenges faced include a lack of dedicated sports infrastructure and development programs. I must also report that the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Education, Culture have requested us to submit 7 constituencies where sports fields will be put up. And for now, for this year, 25-26, we have submitted for Oshinene and Talismanes. The Hobabes Vocational Training Center is at an advantaged stage to acquire additional land from the municipality to expand its facility to accommodate recreational facilities for the trainees. I do not want to come next year here and say you are still looking at possibilities of getting land. I want to hear the land was obtained and some infrastructure was put up. Our president does not believe in the word that is called work in progress. She does not want it. And before the president fires me, I must also scale down on you. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, priority number 3, youth empowerment. If given the right opportunities, our youth have the power to transform not only their own lives, but also drive innovation and growth within the region and beyond. The Directorate of ICT provides a free internet cafe to community members, organizations, ministries, and agencies. A rural ITC center was established in Talismanes to provide ICT services closer to the community. The challenge is that the internet cafe does not have enough computers and laptops, and I'm pleading to Good Samaritans here to please reach out to Councillor Kavaka and donate some computers and laptops. The division of lands contributed to unskilled labor job creation during the water infrastructure construction. The division of gender equality and child care protection supported 7 community projects to the value of 70,000 Namibian dollars. The Office of the President under marginalized communities initiated and ensured 1,335 national documents was issued to San community members within the Omaheke region, and this process is continuing until the end of this month, August, and I'm urging everyone with a person who's not registered, who does not have documents, to do so, because you may lose out on opportunities of government that there are because you do not have that document. Award various projects to local contractors who in turn employed Namibian youth to execute the services. The Ministry of Health and Social Services recruited 63 new staff members, including young professionals such as doctors, psychologists, and nurses. Director Shikulo, are the lines now becoming shorter at the hospital and the clinic? Because you said 63 more people were recruited. Okay, then it's just the speed, they are still new. The Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Forestry employed 20 casual workers for 6 months, October to February this year, to assist with border fence maintenance. Limited permanent employment opportunities are a challenge, as the current team of 9 is insufficient for the maintenance of that fence. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism appointed 4 conservancy game guards in ASAP conservancies. 3 of the appointed guards are from the San community. Now, why do we emphasize San community, marginalized communities, is to show that in the region we pay special attention to communities that were left behind. And it should be a prerequisite that they should always feature where employment is created and opportunities are given. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and National Services trained 40 youth in business management in August 2024. 40 beneficiaries received startup loans between November to December this year. 300 adolescent girls and young women were trained in digital financial literacy between August to November the previous year. 50 adolescent girls and young women and 28 adolescent boys and young men received training in sexual and gender-based violence. During 2024-2025, incomplete regional staff, the absence of sub-officers in Epukiro, Kalahari, Oshombinde, the USAID funding that have stopped have affected the smooth running of these programs. The Gobabis municipality has taken proactive steps towards youth empowerment by temporarily recruiting around 20 young people to support waste collection efforts. Those of you who are saying Gobabis is dirty, things are moving here. Providing them with monthly allowances. Additionally, plans are underway to introduce an internship program across all departments of the municipality in the current financial year. This initiative seeks to bridge the gap between academic knowledge and practical experience, while fostering skills development among the youth. The municipality acknowledges the escalating high unemployment rate in the country as a significant challenge, particularly impacting youth and limiting broader opportunities for sustainable job creation. The municipality has renewed the temporary youth employment initiative for waste collection into the current financial year, with budget provisions made to add approximately 50 more youth to manage and solid waste around skip containers. Furthermore, the planned internship program will offer students essential practical workplace experience aligned with their academic requirements, aiming to enhance their employability. Through this program, the municipality remains committed to support education, nutrition, talent, and building a skilled and capable future workforce. The Okorukambe constituency provided tables and chairs at the cost of 35,000 Namibian dollars to street vendors, preliminarily small kapana businesses in Vetfley. This intervention aimed to recognize and actively support informal food vendors as vital contributors to economic growth, social inclusion, and cultural identity. The constituency facilitated the recruitment of 27 out-of-school youth into the Namibia Police Force, Namibia Defense Force, and Correctional Services. In addition, 9 youth were admitted to the National Youth Service for vocational training. These initiatives aim to reduce youth unemployment, promote skills development, and support social and economic empowerment among the youth. The Vetfley Village Council has conducted training interventions in tourism and hospitality through the Eastern College, targeting local residents as well as individuals from other regions. The initiative aims to build industry-relevant skills and enhance employability in the growing tourism sector. At Oshinene Village Council, 30 youth are temporarily employed under the Kohorora Hygiene Group, youth involved in Mayoral Cup and Expo. The area faces high unemployment rate, with many people moving into Oshinene seeking better livelihoods. The Social Security Service Commission provided financial and technical support to the vocational entrepreneurs as a project that is run by the Omaheke Innovation and Incubation Village. Over 600,000 was disbursed during the reporting year for the vocational entrepreneurship project. Social Security Services provided business registrations and business development training for 7 TVET entrepreneurs, supported individual and project businesses and product marketing through various media and platforms, provided seed capital funds to all entrepreneurs to commence individual enterprises and production of marketable products, supported with production stalls, utilities, electricity, water, internet connectivity. 5 bursaries were secured for students from Omaheke to pursue studies in different programs at different institutions of higher learning. Support for the vocational entrepreneurs program is still active, with the remaining 30,000 per entrepreneur secured for continued production. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, priority number 4, quality education and training. In the words of the late comrade Dr. Abraham Yambo, it is necessary for every educator to get involved in this sector to improve the social economic sector of our country. I hope the Director of Education and Deputy, they are both here. They are reminded by the words of the late Abraham Yambo. The Khobabis municipality provided training to approximately 30 local micro, small, and medium enterprises in key areas of business development and management. This capacity building initiative was conducted in collaboration with the Financial Literacy Initiative under the Ministry of Finance, demonstrating a strong partnership aimed at enhancing entrepreneurial skills within the community. The Division of Gender Equality and Child Care Protection trained a total of 130 educators, receiving allowances amounting to 2.3 million Namibian dollars. The numbers of early childhood development centers grew from 93 to 116. 22 children were assessed and enrolled at Amitofo School in Okahanja, and I will not be surprised if one of them is there, I don't know, but those kids are there, 22 of them from the region. As I said, this school, when you take your child there, you can literally take the child naked. They provide clothing, they provide school uniform, they pay for that child's boarding at that school, they pay for the tuition, the child pays nothing. And I'm also happy that our ministry, our government have also embarked on that one, especially with marginalized communities. And if that is done by government, what is our excuse that we cannot send children to school? There is a limited budget allocation for activities, and the lack of shelters for safe spaces for children remains a significant concern. To address these challenges, emergency funding for school needs should be increased. School hostels should be constructed, especially in towns, and especially to take care of primary schools, and liquor outlets should be regulated, Commissioner Shivede. And I know you can do that, you and Yambo. Frida Shimakaleni, you're also on that committee. Please regulate liquor outlets. I don't say close them, just regulate them. Because our poverty is also contributed by the excessive drinking. It also leads to malnutrition. The Okorukambe constituency established a revived several water point associations and committees during the 2024-2025 financial year to strengthen the operational capacity. Training sessions were conducted for elected committee members. This training focused on essential management skills, including bookkeeping, water point maintenance, and budgeting to ensure sustainable and fortified management of water infrastructure in the community. The continuation of training for water point communities remain a priority to ensure the sustainable management of water resources. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the Ministry of Health and Social Services successfully implemented the Health Promotion Schools Initiative in all 47 schools within the Omaheke region. On-site health programs were conducted at 16 schools, benefiting 1,189 children. To improve service delivery, interministerial collaboration should be strengthened to enhance school-based health services. The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture improved significant infrastructure in the current financial year across the whole region. The Omaheke region schools, including construction of 18 emergency classrooms, 8 storerooms and 8 schools, building of 6 ablution blocks at selected primary schools. Renovation valued at 3.4 million were implemented across multiple schools. Now, having said that we need to procure local, somebody from Omitara wrote me a letter and said, Governor, how is it possible that the service is being constructed in Omitara and not by us, the people of Omitara? If the capacity is there, let the people do the construction. If they don't have it, let us capacitate them. Because we're talking of millions here, but then we do not see what are these millions having an effect on the people living in that particular locality. That is to enhance access and sustainability. The Vetfley Village Council had 2 classrooms constructed by August 26 to address overcrowding and improve the learning environment. An ablution facility was also completed at Nosop Combined School as a joint initiative between the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and NAMPOT to the value of 600,000. And this is a clear testimony that we need all hands on board if we want to move the region forward. The Leonard Valley Village Council provided support to 20 students to attend tuition at the Hobabas Vocational Training Center, assisted 15 students to pursue training at the Namibia Institute of Mining and Technology. Hobabas Vocational Training Center now offers training in 7 vocational skill areas, expanded from 3 occupational areas since its inception in 2016. Leather design production and manufacturing and electrical general are the latest additions to the curriculum. Hobabas VTC won a gold medal in refrigeration in air conditioning at the National Skills Competition in September 2023, and I think they deserve a hand clap. A competitor from Hobabas Vocational Training Center represented Namibia at the World Skills Competition in France. You see how far our kids go? 6 trainees were represented at the 4th Biannual National Skills Competition in Swakopmund from the 22nd to the 27th. They will represent us. This vocational training center is something else, people. They went the other day to Zambezi and they took all the medals, except I think it was volleyball, where they got silver. But everything that was gold, they remove it from Zambezi against all other vocational training colleges. The Omaheke Regional Council will soon sign a memorandum of cooperation, and this is very, very important to all heads of line ministries. This memorandum will be signed with Hobaba's Vocational Training Center, with COSDEC, and that is to supply services to government institutions so that we can reduce the cost of spending on repair and services to government institutions. I mean, these guys are there, they are trained, they know how to do the work, but they are idling. Why are we training them? They supported the highest number, the Ministry of Marginalization supported the highest number of son learners from Omaheke in higher education to date, with a total of 33 students enrolled at universities and colleges. The division provided transport for 519 learners from son communities during the weekends and school holidays to ensure continued access to education and family support. Historically, underrepresentation of son learners in higher education remains a challenge. The Namibian Correctional Services repaired 115 chairs and 225 tables for the Hobaba's Project School. That's why we need to use them. The Namibian police offered 4 police officers from the region the opportunity to study for a bachelor's degree program in criminal justice in partnership with NAST. A total of 9 police officers are on study leave, 4 abroad and 5 within country. The challenge is, however, that there is only places for 13 of them. Otherwise, we could have sent more. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the 5th priority area is creative industry. Her Excellency President Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah views the creative industry as one of the main economic drivers with the potential to contribute to job creation, particularly for the youth. The Hobaba's Vocational Training Center, in collaboration with the Office of the Governor for the Omaheke region, is launching a series of impactful initiatives aimed at supporting disadvantaged school-going learners in the area. These projects are designed to meet the urgent needs of learners by providing essential school items and attire. The center will produce 100 pairs of leather school shoes, which will be distributed to needy learners throughout the office by the Office of the Governor. We have already started. It's not work in progress. The shoes are there. Hobaba's Vocational Training Center offers training in clothing production and leather products design and manufacturing, equipping learners with practical design-oriented skills relevant to fashion and craft-based entrepreneurship through these creative trades combined with business development modules. The center nurtures talent and promotes self-employment, enabling graduates to start their own creative businesses or contribute to local production. This not only supports individual livelihoods, but also stimulates the growth of the creative industry within the Omaheke region. The Directorate of Information and Communication Technology provides equipment needed to support creative industries such as sound systems at no cost to government, and $700 to public and private sector. The sound system. The office recently received a live streaming broadcasting equipment to support the Government Information Center, which will be linked to the main center in Windhoek and stream content on the Omaheke MICT Facebook page. We don't need to go to Windhoek for Good Morning Namibia. The broadcasting will be done here. So no S&T to go to Good Morning Namibia. And you can be broadcast live on Facebook, like they are doing now. The Oshinene Village Council is in process of developing its website, which will be officially launched during August. The Okorukambe constituency spent a total of $105,000 to purchase different software planned for distribution to schools and to start up computer cafe in Omitara settlement. The creative industry pillar is one with the least reported activities, which grant us an opportunity as a region to identify initiatives and grant support to grow the industry. One such platform, along with others, that could be a driver in this space is the Omaheke Arts and Craft Foundation. This platform, established by local artists and craftsmen in Omaheke, aims to enhance the artistic and creative potential of its members. The foundation seeks to showcase Omaheke's diverse cultural heritage through the arts and crafts within the region. The foundation has thus far developed a database that has a total of 133 people operating in various areas such as visual arts, performing arts, crafts, beading, fashion, design, styling, tailoring, poetry, photography, media arts, cultural dance, scientific arts, and sculpting. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, priority number 6, quality health and social welfare. Health is our greatest wealth. It is only through collective action and sustained investment that we can foster a healthier Namibia for all. The Omaheke Regional Council Directorate of Technical and Maintenance completed projects for the 2024-25 financial year. A storeroom at the Department of Works was turned into toilet facilities for $91,000. A child care protection equality center, also another one was done there, provided 585 children with psychological support. 443 beneficiaries received the conditional basic income grant, $600 per month. 1,190 food parcels and 3,800 dignity kits were distributed. 225 orphaned and vulnerable children, 629 pensioners, 267 disabled individuals, and 347 funeral benefits recipients were supported. The challenges includes not only private-owned children's home, which is currently full to capacity, and more children begging on streets. The way forward is to create more homes, get Farm Lucendal, that's a farm outside Witfley, operational, employ more community healthcare workers, strengthen substance abuse rehabilitation programs, and implement positive parenting programs. The Office of the President, Marginalized Communities Initiatives, high level of hunger within the communities, and access to dignified burial services are major challenges. The way forward is to continue the special feeding program, and I hope the special advisor in the presidency listens, to continue the special feeding program, increase burial support services, Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination, successfully installed modern solar systems at numerous water points, improving reliability, deliver emergency water supplies through Tenga services when required. The Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordinate will continue to deliver emergency water services via Tenga services or borehole browsing as needed, and repair pipe extradition and water Tenga fleets as well. Continue the process of procuring new equipment and fleets to facilitate service delivery. The Ministry of Health and Social Services achieved a 94% TB treatment success rate. 94 people. They don't deserve a hand clap. They achieved 100% TB testing initiation for co-infected patients, 100%. And I like the reporting way of the Ministry of Health. And I think all of us need to report also in such a way. What percentage? Now you tell me you drilled 2 boreholes, but 2 boreholes out of how many boreholes? We need to come up with this type of measurable reporting. Reach 81% measles immunization coverage. Completed 30+ infrastructure and equipment upgrades across clinics and hospitals, including sanitation, oxygen systems, diagnostic tools, cold storage, and power supply. Achieved 99% execution of its allocated budget. I wonder how many of us have sent money back to Treasury. They have reached 99% of the budget that was allocated to them. They have expended it. Laundry, autoclave and incinerator servicing, CCTV and fencing for security, plumbing, air conditioning, cold storage installations, maternity and mortuary upgrades. Honorable Chairperson, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism donated 655 kg of game meat valued at $25,000 to old age homes, vulnerable children, homes, and kindergartens. Distributed 600 kilograms of hippo meat among Oshombinde constituency members. The Okorukambe constituency supported a soup kitchen in Omitara, which provide hot meals to vulnerable communities. The Vetfley Village Council extended the septic tank at the clinic, and a shade for sick people was erected at the clinic. In the Oshinene Village Council, Oshinene Pharmacy and a medical doctor are among the new income generating projects that are there. The Vocational Training Center has an ongoing collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Social Services. And again, they refurbish 133 patient beds for Hobaba State Hospital to enhance healthcare delivery in the region. The Namibia Correctional Services conducted a mass tuberculosis screening with 198 inmates screened in 2024-2025 financial year. The gender-based violence program is ongoing with 34 offenders having successfully completed the program. A quarter of the 2025-26 financial year, restorative justice program has been successfully implemented with 2 cases mediated in the current financial year. The motivating offenders to rethink everything program is planned for the 25-26 financial year to challenge antisocial thinking patterns among inmates. The Namibia Police, the Omaheke region is classified as a low-crime consumer region, believe it or not, with a decreased crime rate from 3,313 in 2023 to 2,617 in 2024. But the crimes that are very common is assault with intent to do grievously bodily harm. They are among the top 5 crimes. Now, I think we lack emotional intelligence because we get so quickly angry in this region. This region is having angry people. You see how they're causing grievous bodily harm. Then, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, now moving on the final pillar, priority number 7, is land, housing and sanitation. Access to land, dignified housing and proper sanitation remains fundamental to the well-being and development of our people in the Omaheke region. And this pillar has something to do with dignity of people. How does a child sleep in a shack house and go the next day normal to school? You can see his mental well-being will not be perfect. And it's not that government does not make funds available. Government is making funds available. If Sankwasa come here and he asks you how much was budgeted for housing, you will notice that there will be money not spent. Yet people do not have houses. People do not have access to toilets. People do not have access to water. The equitable use of land must go hand in hand with inclusive development. As part of the Omaheke Regional Council's vision to expand and upgrade Beta Post settlement to the town council level, as well as a one-stop border post, an adjacent farm to the Beta Post measuring 8,000 hectares have been purchased. The regional council planned to include its long-standing intention to also elevate settlements such as Epukiro, Talismanes, and Aminus to the level of a town. I hope the same will happen to Vetfley, Leonardville, and Oshinene. This story of village councils is not working. We are shortchanging ourselves. No one wants to invest in villages Some of us have properties in Wetfley, and when you look at the value, it's zero value because of the status of being a village. And to upgrade areas like Dreamopsis, ASAP, and Hare to settlements, 1.4 million has been allocated to upgrade the Onyanga informal settlement in Talismanes. Work is due to start in August 2025. A total of 2 million have been allocated for the upgrade of Oshiarwa village in the Pukiro constituency and Oshuaneho village in Oshinene constituency, and ASAP 10 in Oshombinda constituency. A total of 2.4 million has been allocated for formalization of the Aminu settlement. The council completed 30 flushing toilets, 8 in Kalahari, 8 in Oshombinde, 8 in Okorukambe, 6 in Aminus. Another 34 toilets were completed at Beta Post settlement at the cost of 1.6 million Namibian dollars. 5 houses were completed at Beta Post under the Build Together program, with an expected completion by October 2025 of 70 houses are planned for Epukiro, Talismanes, and Aminus through the financial assistance of NAMWater. 11 boreholes were drilled at Epukiro at the cost of 7.3 million, which included the cost of geological survey, and 6.2 million sewer pump station and oxidation pond was completed at ASAP 10 in October 2024, with 300-meter sewer line with 10 manholes was completed at Omitara settlement in September last year. A 400-meter sewer line with 13 manholes is expected to be completed by August this year in Epukiro Post 3. A sewer reticulation project worth 21 million at Wetfley Village, which will include a 400 cubic day sewer treatment plant and gravitation sewer reticulation lines is completed, but awaiting to be electrified. In the Aminu settlement, 6 pump stations will be renovated by the end of this year at the cost of 450,000, with 3 pump stations to be replaced due to technology changes. Several challenges have been identified, including the drilling of 2 boreholes in Benher Chaka at the cost of 798,000. That was unsuccessful. They could not yield water. The planned initiatives to address current challenges include the following actions. 21 million sewer reticulation and treatment plant is being constructed in Wetfley, with completion expected in the 3rd quarter of this year. The Regional Council will drill 2 more boreholes in Chaka Benher during the current financial year, Chief Khotsimang, to address the water crisis. 2 additional boreholes will be drilled in ASAP 10 to ease the water shortage. An allocation of 1.7 million will be used to upgrade internal roads in Corridor 13, with construction starting in mid-August 2025. A new dumping site is being constructed in Omitara at the cost of 2 million to reduce environmental pollution. Construction of 2 new offices for the Okvambanderu and Mahareo Traditional Authority is underway and is expected to be completed during the 4th quarter of the current financial year. Renovation of the Botswana-Namibia Traditional Authority office in Aminus will be completed during the 3rd quarter of the current financial year. The division of lands, significant progress has been made in land rights and resettlement. Initiative of total of 356 customary land rights have been successfully registered. Completed housing projects in 2024 includes the renovation of staff houses in Talismanes. 350,000 was used for that. Renovation and alteration of fencing of a GRN flat in Khobabes, 301,000. Completed public infrastructure and sanitation projects. Renovation of Talismanes sub-office, 487,000. Maintenance interlocks at Khobabes. Regional office, 613,000. Conversion of storeroom to an archive in Khobabes, 87,000. The main challenge faced is securing funding for planned projects, with 3 out of 4 projects for the 2025-26 financial year currently on hold, pending availability of funds. The Office of the President Marginalized Communities successfully installed water pipeline for San communities in Oshuapehuri and Okatua. The lack of access to clean water, with communities being approximately 5 kilometers from existing boreholes, is a challenge. The Ministry of Health and Social Services, the following health-related projects were completed during the first quarter of this year. They serviced the DC-9 genset at Hobabes District Hospital at the cost of $21,000, repaired a compressor and oxygen and vacuum plant at Hobabes District Hospital at the cost of $14,000, annual service of Dreca, Oxolog, and spares for the ambulance, $32,000, overhaul of the Stanford alternator plant and generator services, $161,000 was spent, supplied an installation of water cooler at the Paco Clinic, $35,000, service of the X-ray machine at Hobabes District Hospital, $17,000, supplied an installation of a complete wall vacuum system at Hobabes District Hospital, $397,000. The way forward is to prioritize comprehensive sanitation, upgrading multiple health centers like Hobabes, Epaco Clinic, Vetflay, perimeter fencing, CCTV, and guardhouses need to be put up. Planned renovation include the housing units for independent, lower-income older persons. This is very important. Like Hasdion Law, we need this. We also need to upgrade the Paco Old Age Home, because who of us want to retire at the Paco Old Age Home? Can I see your fingers, your hands up? We don't want. Why do we build places where we ourselves do not want to stay? Local authorities. Ablution renovations are scheduled at 2 major facilities, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry, and Tourism. 3 dustbins were purchased for waste management control. Community cleanup campaigns were conducted regularly, and the construction of the Conservancy officers' fences at 16,200. 8 males, including 1 from the San community, were engaged in this exercise. The Okorukambe constituency electrification works commenced in Omitara settlement and Duplessis farm during the 2025 financial year. Implementation plan for 25-26. Additionally, the constituency identified and supported the successful drilling of 6 boreholes across various locations. These boreholes are fully operational and play a critical role in improving water access for rural communities, enhancing livelihoods and resilience against water shortage. 8 kilometers of the Duplessis Epokiro Farm Road have been completed. The Vetflay Village Council achievements are recorded as following. 5 toilets were completed at the cost of $139,000. Section 77 water tank and 6 standpipes were erected, with 4 installed at the cost of $333,000. The community hall was completed at the cost of $299,000. The Oshinene Village Council, 30 residential urban were serviced under Phase 2, including water and sewer reticulation, and made available for sale via closed bidding in March 2025. 12 potential landowners were identified and submitted for funding under the Decentralized Build Together program. 400 waste bins were procured to improve refuse collection. The Odohambo Group Station upgraded project is underway, valued at $2 million. Electrification of 250 shake dwellings was launched with a total budget of over $6.2 million. Yes, let's go. $106 million was allocated to land servicing in the 2024-2025 financial year. The municipality in Oshinene Village Council continues to face challenges: decline of people who do not want to pay their money, their debts, resulting in a debt allocation to NamWater of $12 million. That's what Oshinene owes NamWater, because we use services and we don't want to pay. Disconnections have taken place, but 75 people have been reconnected, maybe after they paid their fees. Adherence to payment agreements remain an issue. The constituency will continue the implementation of land servicing and housing schemes, alongside promoting amnesty repayment initiatives such as pay and win competition, but that also does not seem to work. the Council continues to procure VIP toilets for the community. The Leonardville Village Council. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done. Secured 560,000 funding to assist 7 beneficiaries with house construction, appointed contractors to manufacture bricks, to construct the houses, receiving confirmation of additional funding of 1 million for 6 more houses, completed servicing of Erwin in Extension 1 at the cost of 301,000, completed the valuation roll of rateable properties for the 5-year period, until 2027 at a cost of 400,000. Gravelled and interlocked 1.2 kilometers of the main road to Aramsdale at a cost of 860,000. Finalized the token identification rollout of prepaid water meters. The Council will continue the procurement and installation of VIP toilets to enhance sanitation facilities. The Council is finalizing the layout planning for Extension 2 with an estimated budget of 300,000. SORA successfully connected a total of 200 houses in Omaheke region with a total value of 3 million. House connections were completed in the following areas: Oshinene, Council's 72 houses, Okarumbu and Aminus 53 houses, Dreamiopsis 20 houses, Duplessis 20 houses, and Odohambo 23 houses. The Namibian police will be constructing a new police station and accommodation facility at the Pako police station. The tender process is completed, but the construction is pending. Hobabis Municipality. The municipality achieved the following milestones in solid waste management and housing development. Procured 650 wheelie bins, 10 skip containers, and a tractor with a trailer at the cost of 1.5 million to enhance solid waste removal and management efforts. Don't they deserve a hand clap? I mean, we were all crying foul that the town is not looking beautiful. Now we see what they are doing so that the town can be restored to its former glory. They deserve a hand clap. They partnered with the Namibia Housing Action Group and the Czech Dwellers Federation of Namibia to formalize the Kanansi informal settlement, initiated reblocking and packing of the Kanansi settlement. According to the drafted layout plan, allocated land in Nosovele to the Czech Dwellers Federation of Namibia to provide housing for 2 saving groups, and I hope the colored headmen will get a house there. Yes. Completed 35 houses in Epako under the Build Together project. Completed 57 houses in Epako and Freedom Square under the Czech Dwellers Federation. The municipality continues to face several challenges in the service delivery. An aging fleet used for waste disposal is hindering the operational efficiency. Persistent vandalism and theft of fencing infrastructure at the 3 cemeteries compromise safety and maintenance efforts. The municipality will continue producing a fully equipped skip container truck in the current financial year. To address the challenges related to the aging waste disposal fleet, allocated budget provision to improve fencing infrastructure at the 3 cemeteries, allocating land to the Development Workshop of Namibia for the development of approximately 250 residential areas in Nosobel, with development expected to commence during this current year. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, now reporting on projects under the Office of the Governor. We are almost done. I think it's just very important that I also say what did I do so that I also earn my salary. To address malnutrition and poverty in the region, the Office of the Governor, in partnership with Global Head Start Kits, developed the Omaheke Integrated Community Empowerment and Nutrition Initiative. And this is a new kit on the block. The name, the abbreviation is OISANI. It's an initiative that adopts a multiple phase 5-year approach, combining medical, social, and economic interventions. Year 1 will focus on baseline mobilization. We can go on. I don't want to bore you with the details. That will be the supplementation of women and children. Year 2 and 3 will be infrastructure. Year 4 and 5 will promote sustainability by integrating processed foods into school feeding tenders. Mr. Kavari, I'm looking at you. Ensuring co-ops to repay inputs with produce and transitioning income-generating projects to community ownership. The interventions are structured across 4 areas: prevention and screening, including expanded supplementation, community outreach, and antenatal care, medical with upgrades to Omaheke Hospital and pediatric ward. We can go on. Immediate implementation of this project will be $3 million needed, and then the other plans will include a $14 million and then a $17 million. That will be a factory that will be set up here in Omaheke to produce food for people and for animals. That's the plan. Farm Neighborhood has made notable progress in agricultural development and community upliftment. Over 1 square kilometer of the main farm have been fenced off. Boreholes were converted from windmill to solar. The farm developed 3 times 15 times meter greenhouses, chicken coop, a goat kraal, acquired essential tools, equipment, water. Through donations and partnership, it received 200 chickens, 25 dairy goats, 10 boer goats, 30 rabbits, and 100 fruit trees. Successful pilot harvesting included carrots, beetroots, tomatoes, spinach, with 10,000 onions, 5,000 cabbage are now planted. And planted in June, and in September, we'll be having our Farm Neighborhood Public Day, and we'll also do harvesting. It benefits over 35 youth and has employed over 50 locals. And I want to thank the mayor and her council for having given us this piece of land. I know there are some logistics that we need to sort out, but this is a no return project. It's forward ever, backward never. We have supported soup kitchens and the Paco Old Age Home. With access to 250 hectare municipal land secured, the way forward includes hosting a Farm Neighborhood Open Day, as I said, and even Khobabe's VTC want to open an agricultural school at Farm Neighborhood so that the kids are attending agricultural school because it's an agricultural area and they can work physically on the farm and experience that. Also, with the rehabilitation of mothers with street kids, we do not only want to rehabilitate the street kids, we want to rehabilitate the mothers. But then the mothers must have work to do. They must be employed. They must have homes where those children will look forward to coming back to. Otherwise, our streets will still be full of street kids. The Omaheke Innovation and Incubation Center, Space is an innovation and business incubation facility which nurtures entrepreneurs in Omaheke. The center received $1.5 million from Social Security, and that's the center that I said have taken care of the youth, given them $50,000, $20,000 initially, $30,000 now to complete their entrepreneurship. They are all registered as business companies with Social Security and with NAMRA and Equity Commission. Impact survey was conducted to guide future implementation. The way forward includes securing sustainable funding, expanding training, strengthening monitoring and evaluation, and developing a targeted proposal to fund the second intake of the vocational market. Genesis, I think you have seen that fitting the cars, and I hope Councillor Kashido, I heard you this morning inviting people to send you questions. You have seen the car in Oshinene, in Dreamopsis, in Vetflay. We are now branching out to Leonardville. Also, are we branching out to Dongerbos and Epukiro through Genesis and nutritious drink. We are covering 800 children. The target is 1,000 children in the region. and this product is doing wonders. It's an institution it's an organization focused on combating hunger and malnutrition in Namibia. The project has significantly advanced efforts to combat acute and chronic malnutrition among children under 5, vulnerable households. Assessment across 12 locations resulted in the registration of over 800 children with the soup kitchens. Currently, there is a reduction in severe acute malnutrition and moderate acute malnutrition cases in the region. Communities receiving regular Genesis meals saw a 20% decrease in chronic malnutrition. Referral success improved from 40% to 60%, indicating stronger collaboration between soup kitchens and local clinics. I want to just stand a little bit at this point. When we see more numbers of children coming to hospitals, it is not because the numbers are increasing, it's because these children were heightened. They were nowhere to be found. Now we trace them and we bring them to where they should get assistance. We also have a partnership with Germany, a program of the Office of the Governor that have partnered with 4 hospitals in Germany. It's a landmark collaboration between Germany, medical institutions, and the Omaheke region of Namibia. It provides full scholarships for Namibian youth in the Omaheke region to pursue careers in healthcare, medical sciences, and IT through a tailored training and relocation pathway in Germany. The initiative receives over 200 applications from the youth, and 98 candidates are currently interviewed, and 60 of them are undergoing German classes in both Gobabis and Windhoek. Honorable Chairperson, you must go to Germany, leave UK. Our story is with Germany. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, closing remarks. As I close, as I bring this year's State of the Region address to a close, I am reminded that behind every statistic and every program are real people. These are not just figures. These are families, these are elders, these are young people and children whose lives are shaped by the decisions we make and the actions we take. This year's theme calls on us to lead with purpose and to place people at the center of everything we do. This we cannot achieve by continuing to operate as we have been doing it in the past. I implore all leaders and stakeholders in the Omaheke region, and I want to quote what the President has said: we are too few to be poor. Seriously, a population of 3 million people, a population of 100,000 in Omaheke, we can't be poor. We are too few to be poor. And we can also not do business as usual. The Omaheke region, my office included, must do away with working in silos, as together we can build a positive culture of public service delivery. Let us serve our people with true humility. Let our work be guided by the National Development Plan 6, which reflects the 7 priority areas on which all reporting will be based. As we continue to accelerate to celebrate the life of well-lived of our departed founding father, the leader of our revolution, I am tempted to repeat the quote I made at the departure of our 3rd president, Comrade Hake Kenko. And I'm tempted to repeat those words of Walter Lippmann, who once said, "The final test of a leader is that he leaves behind him in other men the conviction and the will to carry on." End of quote. With those few remarks, we have come to the end of our State of the Region address. I thank you very much for your attention, and I also thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Please be seated. Please be seated. Whilst sitting, can we once again...
Well, there you've had it, Namibia. That is the State of the Region address coming to you live here in Gobabis, the capital of the Omaheke region. Now, I have a special guest with me to do some post-mortem. Mr. Dylan Makaroli, who is a development practitioner, is joining me to kind of analyze the meaningfulness or the possible impact or assessing the nature of what the governor said today. Tell us, what is just in terms of the feeling, what do you think the people of the region are feeling after they have heard that when it comes to why subnational and regional governance is important?
Yeah, I think what we're picking up is there's a sense of optimism. People feel optimistic in the sense that governor is accounting. I think he's the only governor that's accounting on the work that he had influence for over the 5 years, unlike other governors that are coming and accounting what the other people have done. So you can see our governor speak with a sense of authority in terms of the development programs, how things have been progressing, so forth, and the emphasis on his mandate as a governor to coordinate the different offices, the different programs, and of course report on these programs at the state of the region at the SORA. So I think there's a sense of optimism of him coming back and really continuing the coordination of those programs, but also ensuring that things don't remain in the pipeline, but you can measure an impact. Not only report on this was done, 2 million there, 3 million there, but what is the impact of that specific program overall in terms of service delivery, poverty eradication, and so forth.
Let's talk about impact, and I think part of what becomes difficult when we're speaking about impact in a developmental context is looking at the issue of human development. I think essentially looking at the lives of people and the livelihoods of people, and somehow this idea of dignity for the people, particularly when it comes to public resources and public expenditure. So do these efforts translate, whether it is, the efforts around the infrastructure that's been built, the support services for water provision and sanitation, at what rate does it translate into dignity for the people of the region?
Well, a large amount of them do, especially those in the sphere of agriculture, and I think a very comfortable percentage also in the sphere of infrastructure, because that is amongst things that you can manage. But if you, when drafting the SORA, and you give governor statistics and information, one thing he will ask you is, you've trained 20 entrepreneurs in business management, financial literacy, what is the impact? How do you measure that the training you have given these people over 6 months and a year, they are busy implementing? So that's something that we are really looking closely into with regards to that. But I would say, in all honesty, there's also those that it's very impossible to measure, because you give the person the knowledge, you give the person the skill, but if the person does not then go around and use that, it means that your efforts have gone to waste. But in the sphere of agriculture, in the sphere of infrastructure, we see a lot of progress, we see good work being done, and we see a lot of youth involvement, that skills transition where young people have now the ability in Omaheke to take on projects. And we're happy to see that the governor is reporting that in agriculture we have young people that are now not working in gardens but managing gardens actively. That is the kind of impact, and these are the people that have gone through the system and have been assisted by government through some time. So the impact can be seen there.
So in terms of maybe what I've seen happening at the State of the Region addresses, the president obviously through the State of the Nation address prioritized, the key areas within the NDP6, but also conjoining that to the economic pillars around, mining, energy, oil and gas, tourism, agriculture, water, fisheries, transport. Do you see that somehow there's greater significance in terms of prioritizing development at a regional level taking place, more of an harmonization effort, an alignment to national strategies, and now kind of keeping them at a regional level? Do you think that's happening now?
Of course, I think the sectors that speak to us, there are many sectors that perhaps we can't really align to, but you will find Omaheke, a piece of Omaheke in many of those sectors. When you speak about fisheries, today we have few projects, in as much as we're a cattle country, in the sphere of aquaculture, we have a footprint there. In terms of mining, you find that in Omaheke now is the center of this whole debate around a mining technique where uranium was found in Leonardsville, and you find that this mine has the opportunity to really change the face of the region and move towards diversification. So you also find Omaheke adding a voice in terms of mining through the Uranium One Head Springs project. You find we are very dominant in the priority of agriculture. more towards beef, very little towards crop, but you can see a
But that's
small
interesting,
just
you know,
transition.
I've been hearing this agriculture thing, just a quick one, but I also hear about efforts around malnutrition.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed that a place that has prioritized agriculture, you wouldn't have issues with malnutrition.
Yeah.
How does that square off?
So you must understand where malnutrition takes place. Majority, if not all of the cases, happen in Khobabas, and it happens in peri-urban areas. So it's a generational poverty cycle. It's not that these people don't have access to food, it's the way of life of these people. A study was done by the Omaheke Regional Council, and we looked at where there were fatalities of malnutrition, how were the lives of these people, and we found that majority of these people benefit through social grants, majority of these people benefit through drought relief. So I don't know how to term it, but it's a generational poverty thing that these people are trapped in, and a lot of effort really needs to be pushed towards changing the mindset of these people. And majority of them are also generational farm workers who have been working on farms for many years, but are then just dumped in town once they're old, once they're unproductive, and these people don't really have a way of life that seems to be sustainable. So that's where the issue of malnutrition comes
Final
in.
question, I think the issue of scalability in terms of benefits is important for the region. Even this, it's some tremendous achievements in terms of what he was talking about, drought relief packages, 280,000 bags rather of maize meal. And the governor said something interesting. Rather than just receiving food, we want to be the ones that produce this food. So talk to us about how, at a regional level, do we extend these benefits, these initiatives, not just to a few, but to all? How do we make it scalable at a regional level? What's the responsibility of regional councils, for instance, or even the office of the governor, to make sure that everybody, even these people going through generational poverty, get some dignity, have access to a livelihood at the end of the day?
I think it has to be a multi-stakeholder effort. Everyone must play their part in, number one, sensitizing these people, to really change their outlook and the way of life. It's not that assistance does not go to these people. It's that these people have not had exposure to the assistance that they are being given. So you would give someone food, you would give someone assistance, but their whole mindset really needs to be changed from that of subsistence towards that of productivity. So it is possible. The good stories have been there. You see work being done in our communities and our constituencies, but it would really take a whole nother level of sensitization, because it would not help just for the sake of progress to give these people access to these materials, but they themselves don't understand why is it important that we as previously disadvantaged people, I don't want to use the word black, move over towards being the owners of the means of production.
But I think you spoke particularly about a particular demographic like farm workers, right? And we know that historical injustices of dehumanization have taken place there. We also know the effects psychosocially of intergenerational trauma and issues around that. And given the cultural diversity of this region, where it's more dynamic than other regions, where at a subnational level there might be a greater sense of one ethnicity in one region. Here it's not kind of the case. So how do you then ensure that the socioeconomic part becomes, in terms of equity, equally spread? Is it the responsibility of people that have been historically disadvantaged, historically worked on places or in places, or even laborers without pensions that can take care of them? So the response comes, where does the responsibility lie then? And I think you spoke about a shared responsibility. So what greater efforts need to be done to bridge that deficit?
I think it's like I said, we have had very good success stories, and these are the people that then need to go and be advocates for their own people, because they are the same people that have also at some time been disadvantaged. So they need to go and be really not ambassadors but advocates, sensitize their people to say that it is possible for you not only to grow a garden for subsistence, but to be trained in how to go about managing a garden for selling purposes. So everyone has a bit to play in that regard, whether it's a institution, whether it's a government institution, whether it's a private company, the role of sensitization and telling our people why it's important, so that when the resource comes, they understand, the understanding and the self-actualization is there, is quite important and cannot be underemphasized.
I think that's a very important dialogue that you guys need to have at a regional level, because I think the specifics of the multi-diversity that's within the region leads to such a platform where you have to kind of unpack these historical injustices and the contemporary effects that it has on people. But let's move on to the other areas that were also spoken about. I think there's a lot happening at the regional level. Youth empowerment, youth employment. Let's speak about what opportunities are there. Again, we always say entrepreneurship might be a flagship answer, but the nature of entrepreneurship is that 80% of entrepreneurs don't do well, right? Because there might be issues of like uptake. Where do I sell my product? Is there purchasing power within my community? And so how do we really, again, provide opportunities for mobility for young people in this region?
I think there is a challenge that the region is facing. A lot of entrepreneurs have opportunities, whether it's through funding models. The governor spoke a lot of so many entrepreneurs were funded, but the issue of how we harmonize that is really a challenge for the region. We've seen how many entrepreneurs have received a lot of funding, but the scalability, the operations, the access to the market at many times really causes the entrepreneurs to really struggle. So it's an issue that I don't think has one singular answer, but it really involves each and every stakeholder to bring its part and ensure that entrepreneurs have an opportunity. What I would say is an appreciation needs to go out that the access to the finances, the access to the trainings has always been a call of the youth. Now the call now needs to be, how do we then ensure that entrepreneurs have access to the markets that we're specifically training them? So we still, as a region, can't get that answer yet of really assisting our entrepreneurs. And it's very much unfortunate.
But also I think sometimes, what opportunities exist for young people, for instance, where the education system didn't work in their interest? Because sometimes we have opportunities, but the pre-qualifiers to have access to these opportunities, I might not have been, at the opportunity to be able to read and write. Just because that's the nature of young people in this country and what they've been through. So how does the creative industries come in and resolve it for those people at a regional level? Is the regional council or just office of the governor coming up with initiatives that address people who the traditional education system didn't work for?
I would say now, previously, to be bold and honest, there was not really a space for the creative industry to go, but it was because the understanding of the importance of creative industry, its independence and its ability to give a voice to those that didn't have an opportunity was really overlooked. But now that commitment has been made to say, look, we have a lot of young people in the space of creativity. We have the O space that has been set up at the office of the governor that really now looks specifically at the creative industry and has been doing some movement around that. I think the region now has the understanding. We are diversifying. We've always been known as cattle country. We're still known as cattle country. And when we live here, we're most likely going to have, a plate of meat. We are the cattle country. But the diversification is now moving, and other areas, and especially the creative industry, is one that I can assure you is now going to be looked at, and is also a priority area for the region.
I think, Dylan, a lot of the times, in closing, as somebody that needs to ensure that we speak in the public's interest, is how do we ensure as the public that a lot of these platforms are not an opportunity for there to be promises that are made but not delivered? How do we ensure, maybe we need to share the responsibility, but who do you speak to at this region? Who needs to do what? What roles and responsibilities do the various actors have in making sure that the desire for this region to be better is a shared responsibility?
I think our people need to, at every platform, be it a community meeting, be it a water point committee meeting, be it a traditional authority meeting, they must demand accountability, because all of the stakeholders that are recognized in the protocol, each and every one of them have a say, have a influence in development. So our people must demand accountability from their leaders. Omaheke, really, one thing we do well is our ability to coordinate our diversity. Everyone has a say, everyone has an opportunity to go add an extra effort in programs. So our people must demand accountability and hold the leaders to account in terms of what has been promised. The governor is not speaking on programs that his office did. He's speaking on programs which many stakeholders are feeding him, and he's taking accountability for that. So our people must demand accountability. They must demand impact. They must demand progress from their leaders. That is the only way we can get shared responsibility.
Mr. Makaroli, thank you very much for making your time out. I think very insightful. You've heard it, not just for the people in the Omaheke region, but throughout the country. Subnational governance, regional governance is key to bringing the services closer to the people. And as you've heard it here, accountability is not just for our leaders at a central government level, but also for the leaders that are at a regional level, at a local authority level, that are in your community. Namibia, you need to participate to ensure that we hold the people that we've elected accountable for providing us better services. Well, that's the time we've had from the State of the Region address here in Khobaba. We're coming to you live here in the Omaheke region. We will be meeting you from the Erongo region. That is Wednesday morning. Please do join us as we'll be traveling in Namibia to make sure that subnational governance and the idea of regional development become a priority, not just for the government, but for us as Namibians. For myself, Patrick Sam, that's our time. Until Wednesday, goodbye.